Welcome back to KISH YZ, kicking it in the second half. We got episode 27. We're going to kind of call this On the Brink. We're talking about players or teams that are either heading up or heading down. There's about 5 games left in the season, I think. Like maybe 2 or 3 games this week and 1 or 2 for a team heading into next week to end the regular season. So yeah, once again, I'm D, back in with my co-host Hugh. What up, Hugh?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey Hugh, I want to give a shout out real quick. Shout out to I hope I'm saying it right, Feisty J. That was our 38th subscriber as of today, new subscriber. And to go back, I think the subscriber before that, Be Like Emmy. Shout out to Be Like Emmy if I'm saying that right as well. And Glowbush was a subscriber that we shouted out a couple episodes ago, but I couldn't remember the name. But I just wrote it down. So yeah, shout out to everybody that just recently subscribed. And if you're watching this for the first time, please subscribe to our channel and catch our latest drops on different things that we do on the podcast, as well as shoes with unboxing there, and then PPFs, which seem to be popular, where we break down a particular player, and also like our debates and some other content that we're trying to throw out there. You know, give us a thumbs up if you like the videos as well when you're peeping those out. Hugh, let's get into the topic, bro, because like we got some serious news that went down. It almost was time for a Hugh Weekly, but you know, what did you see in the news today? What stood out the most? Because there's like a couple different things going on right now towards this end of this regular season. What was the biggest thing? Just to start off with that, in your opinion.
Yeah, I guess the biggest news today would be the Jalen Brown news, I guess.
Yeah, bro, he's out for the season, the rest of the season. Like, not the rest of the regular season, the season, playoffs, everything, whatever comes with the rest of this 2021 season, he's out. He's not going to be there. Was it something, a torn ligament in his wrist? I think it was discovered over the weekend, they say. And yeah, that did it. I mean, he was out for what? What was he initially out for? Hamstring?
No, it was ankle. He missed 3 games because of his ankle.
Ankle, okay. So, bro, What does that mean? The Celtics, it sounds like they're headed down, like in a downward fall, because it's kind of not really a whole bunch of positive to rely on there. But maybe your guy would step up, your guy that, Evan Fournier.
Hey, I mean, he's been balling as of late. I'll give him that.
I mean, as a second scoring option at times, or even a third, that would probably work. I mean, I don't think that's how they probably had it planned when they, got him over to Boston, because it just looked like, why would you do that? But now it actually does serve a purpose. But Kemba's the guy I'm eyeballing. I mean, Tatum's a given, but for Kemba, he needs to keep playing the way he's been playing the last couple games, if you notice. But looking at their schedule, I think it's tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they have a back-to-back. And we know what Kemba does. They usually don't play Kemba on back-to-backs. But they're right there behind, 2 games behind the Miami Heat after losing to them on Sunday. But, they could possibly slip down to the 8th. I don't think they will probably go below 8th. But, they would need the Heat to lose a game or 2 and then them to win their games to get out of the play-in tournament. But this basically kind of seals off where they're going to be. They're going to be in the playoff tournament, most likely, it looks like. But we need big performances from Fournier, Kemba, and Tatum. That's their new big 3, right?
That's what it's looking like. Yeah. I mean,
that's just tragedy. Just talk about what you think about that. If you want to add anything. I mean, we might be done with it.
I mean, the Celtics have been a hot thing to talk about since it feels like the All-Star break, and our displeasure with the way they did things at the trade deadline. But yeah, I mean, we just talked about them recently on the uptick, I guess is how I would say it. Playing better, winning games, moving up slightly in the standings. But yeah, this is a huge blow. Their second leading scorer on a team, and there's plenty of games where he outplayed Tatum and outscored him. So I mean, this is huge. So yeah, to be honest, I'd be shocked. I don't see him going anywhere. Like you said, they're 2 games below the Heat, and they're 2 games above the Hornets. So I mean, a lot would have to go bad. I think still with Tatum and Fournier and Kemba, they'd still be able to, at least win 1 or 2 of these last games and probably keep them there in the 7th seed. But yeah, if that's the case, then they'd have to play Charlotte first game in a play-in, and that'd be a tough game in my opinion. Without Brown. I mean, Charlotte's playing good. You know, LaMelo's back. PJ Washington's been going off lately. I don't know if Gordon Hayward is close to returning or not. I know he's missed like 20 games now, but I don't know if he's close to returning or not. I didn't look into him, but I mean, that'd be a team I would not want to play right now. So yeah, Celtics are reeling, in my opinion. That's a huge blow to them. But
I mean,
I
for the
didn't think they
Celtics,
go.
I don't think they want to play anybody at the moment.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, we didn't expect them to make it that far, anyways. You know, without an elite big man or even a decent big man at that. But yeah, I mean, this just complicates things even more. And now I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even make it out of the play in at this point without Jalen Brown. That's how big of a deal he is. First time All-Star this year. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
it's
definitely going to
unfortunate.
touch on that later.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Oh, real quick, when I said the subscriber, the 38th, did I say Feisty J?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I'm saying that right because it might be Fisty J. I wanted to say Feisty, but it's Fisty space J. So
Sounds
once
like
again, if I
fisted.
mess that up, sorry. It might be Fisty J. I wanted to say Feisty J, but Fisty is kind of how it's spelled. So I should say both just in case. But yeah, what you said with the Charlotte Hornets, I mean, I guess we could kind of consider them on the uprise, even though we seen that over the last week or two because LaMelo Ball came back and that put them back to where they were before he went out. So yeah, the Celtics, unfortunate, but for us, it's time to move on from them. Another big thing. The reason why I'm wearing the Wizards gear is Russell Westbrook. You know, shout out to Russ. Shout out to the Wizards fans as well. You know, dropped another triple double. He's in the books. He's number one on the triple doubles list, bro. I can't even
Yeah.
remember what the number is supposed to be. Is it like 181,
180. I think 180. I think he has 182 now.
182? So,
Yeah.
I mean, put that as a jersey number for next year. 182, triple digits. It's like a wraparound.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to the Wizards and shout out to Russ. I'm a big fan of Russ. But in other regards, Bradley Beal, man. Bradley Beal. Slated to miss a couple games here, right?
Yes, sir.
So with only a handful of games left, I mean, I doubt that the Wizards would slip so far as to be out of the play-in tournament, but the Chicago Bulls have not been officially eliminated yet. So they have to, I would assume, at least win one game. But with the loss they just took today, they went from, I think yesterday they were in the 8th seed as far as the regular season standings, and now they're in 10th because of the loss. So, you know, still got a few shakeups there, but all in all, they're going to still be in that range of the play-in tournament. But what I wanted to touch on is the Russ you talked about yesterday in our last podcast episode. That Russ, we need to see the Russ that is the consistent Russ that we've been seeing with Bradley Beal as far as him contributing. Obviously, the triple doubles are nice, but we don't want to see that old Russ style where he shoots a terrible percentage over the last several years because he jacks up a lot of shots and it ultimately cost him the game. Now, granted, they lost today's game, even though he got a triple double, but I think when I looked at some of his stats, I don't remember the stats exactly. It was a pretty decent efficiency. It wasn't anything like, I mean, it might've been close to 50%. I can't remember, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like, 3 for 15 from the 3-point line and then like, 5 for 24 overall. Nothing like that. Cause we've seen stuff like that before. It was a decent, but not having Bradley Beal for a couple games, maybe he'll be back for for the last 1 or 2 regular season games if they just need to rest him for a little bit. But yeah, definitely can't slip too much. So I don't know how many games they have. I'm assuming everybody has around 4 or 5 games left, and at that point, you can't lose all 5 of those. With the Chicago Bulls being right there to if they're cleaning up, if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing with the wins, they definitely gotta win some of those games. But they've been balling, bro. Yeah, like you said, they you touched on them before. They've beat some teams that are playoff contending teams. So impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree pretty much what you said. Yeah. I also too looked at after the game. I saw they lost. I looked at Russ's stats, and yeah, I can't remember either exactly what they were, but yeah, I wasn't displeased with his shooting numbers at all. But that's one thing we did talk about. I think they'll be fine as long as Russ doesn't get back into his old tendencies, like you said, of putting up 25, 30 shots a game. I think they're a lot better of a team, and he's a lot better overall when he's shooting, maybe 15 shots a game, something like that. I feel like tonight it was low. I think it was in the teens maybe of the shots he took. So yeah, it looks like he still learned his lesson. There might be a game every now and then where he puts up a lot of shots, but yeah, as long as he don't go back to that, yeah, the Bulls are 2.5 games back, and they haven't been playing very good. Now they do have Zach LaVine back. He missed 2.5, 3 weeks with COVID. He missed a little longer than some other players, but he's finally back. But yeah, I still don't see him making that big of a push. I still got Wizards, and they're only half a game back from the Pacers. So I mean, the Pacers at 9, they lose one, and the Wizards or win one, and they're just probably going to flip flop up until the last game. So I mean, potentially the 9th seed if Russ can keep that team afloat, which with ways playing, I don't doubt that he can do that. So yeah, shout out the Wizards. Y'all had a huge turnaround from All-Star break when we were calling your organization a joke and how they couldn't do anything with the talent that they had. So they proved me wrong at least. But yeah, I think the Wizards will be fine. It'd be exciting, Bradley Beal comes back and to see them in the play-in. There's 1-game elimination games and see how good they ball out. I think they'd be a hard team to face. But yeah,
you've
shout out
been
to
keeping
Russ, like you
tabs
said.
on that scoring for the league's scoring average. What do you want to call it?
League's leading score.
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
been
I was
keeping tabs on
keeping
that because
I
it's
was keeping
between
track.
Bradley Beal and not Russell Westbrook,
Curry.
Steph Curry.
Yeah. Well, I think what I say Curry has their game's still on, but he has 29 tonight. I think he's over a point. I think he's like 31.9. Yeah, I checked today. I think he's like 31.9 a game, and Beal's like 30 something. So I mean, Curry should have that in the bag now because even if Beal comes back, maybe if he comes back with like 2 games left, he might face like a slight, maybe a minute restriction or something. Those 2 games to make sure he don't dig himself up again. So I think Curry probably got that in the bag. If
I
knock
mean,
on wood,
he
nothing
might
happens
not.
to him.
I guess it depends on what
Hey, well,
happens.
if Beal gets close, Curry will probably put up another 50-point game. He had
I mean,
49 like 2 nights
it
ago.
might come
So.
down to the last game. Will we see another
Right.
60-point?
Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something if they like played each other like the last game?
I don't
And
know
those
what
guys
their
are just shooting,
schedule
shooting,
is
shooting,
like,
shooting. Yeah, I was just
but
saying,
I
wouldn't that be
mean,
cool to
but they're keeping tabs, so I'm sure they're going to be scouting as far as what one might have to do towards the last couple games heading into next week.
yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
I'd probably give that to Curry.
just a quick plug that if you're listening to us talk about these teams because they're on the border as far as being in the play-in team so far between the Celtics and the Wizards, we're going to be doing some episodes next week. One particular episode, we're going to be covering the play-in tournament as far as the players and players that we see are going to be factors for the play-in tournament teams, and obviously the predictions of who we got coming in and coming out. Once things are settled as far as who's ranked where. So we'll be squeezing that in and then gearing up for the playoffs. But yeah, if you haven't already and you're kind of confused, Hugh, I know you were asking me a question about the play-in tournament last week. I'm gonna put it right up here, the little the box for the card for you to click, and you can watch our video. I did a video with a poster as well to kind of help give a visual presentation of how the play-in tournament's going to work this season going into the playoffs, because everything is like back to back to back. The regular season ends, but then for the teams that are 7th through 10th on both conferences, they're going to be in the play-in tournament, and then they're going to do their thing, and I explain how those rounds work and then who ends up where for going into the playoffs, which the playoffs are played the traditional way, the 1 through 8th seeds there for either conference. But yeah, Hugh, who do you got next on your list? What else you want to get into?
I got James Harden written down. You want to touch on
You got
that?
him
You want
written
to touch
down?
on your favorite team, Brooklyn? Your favorite team in the East?
Wizards?
Nah, I'm just joking. Yeah. So Harden was injured, and then he had the setback, and so he probably would have already been back if it wasn't for that setback. But yeah, it came out like end of last week or something. Harden talked to the media and said that he definitely felt that he was going to return before the regular season, and I feel like that was a surprise to many people, myself included, because I kind of expected him to come back maybe start of the playoffs. But he said he wanted to come back, knock some rust off before the end of the regular season. So the Brooklyn Nets actually have a back-to-back. They play Tuesday tomorrow and then again on Wednesday. They've already ruled him out for Tuesday, but they say that there is a good chance that he will return and play on Wednesday. I'm sure it'll be under a minutes restriction. But yeah, so that's huge news for Brooklyn. They went through
Who's that sound like?
What?
Coming back to play the last couple games.
LeBron.
Yeah. Same thing, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. LeBron's been ruled out according to the Lakers tomorrow, but I think you said they have a back-to-back, right? So
Same deal, back to back. I'm sure
maybe
they're not going to want to play
Wednesday.
him
Yeah.
back to back. The next game would be against the Rockets, which they're going to be looked as the inferior team. The Rockets would be. So maybe that's when he will return because it'd be less of a challenge. That's just my opinion about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. But yeah, I mean, both those guys on the same page. I think both of them teams need them guys back. I mean, we saw Brooklyn reeling a little bit. I think they lost like 4 straight games, maybe something like that. I think they finally won. They beat Denver a couple of nights ago, so finally won again there. But yeah, they were reeling for a little bit. So Harden coming back, getting the big three, getting them a couple games together. That's something you've been hot about talking about. Get them a couple
Couple
more games
games
together.
together.
Maybe.
My gosh, that's like literally all you get. A couple games together, bro. We ain't even going to go there right now. Hey, speaking of which, of Brooklyn, I got a new concept. I'm going to just air it out here on this live while you're listening. If you're paying attention to me, we're going to do a Dundies award to end the regular season.
Dundies.
Kish Dundies. Yeah, we're doing Kish Dundies, and I got a few Brooklyn Nets who could probably make the cut.
Well,
Stay tuned for that.
Might
If you're
not make
listening
the
to
cut
this,
for
stay
me.
tuned for that. That's going to be interesting. A cool concept. I haven't even explained it to you, but I wrote it down today. That's something we want to do. So, or I want to do, and we're going to get that done.
Yeah, it's news to me.
Yeah, you seem so excited. So excited.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be exciting. That's
No.
different. What's wrong?
You look so excited.
I'm good.
Are you great?
Yeah, sorry. When we started this podcast, Warriors were up 18, and then Utah came back and was up 2, but then with like 13 seconds left, Curry just hit a 3. Really contested 3. So yeah, sorry, I was just hyped there for a moment.
See, this is why it's hard to do the podcast with this guy because he plays so much.
I'm all ears.
And when you get into the game and you listen to what he's trying to do and then you don't pay attention.
I'm all ears.
You're all ears.
I'm paying attention. You
There's
said we're
no
doing
eyes,
a
man.
Dundies at the end of
Eyeballs.
regular season, and a couple Brooklyn Net players might be on your list. I heard everything you said.
You heard everything I said, but I'm watching you and
Yeah.
you're just like, hey, everybody. I'm just telling you what just happened. There's either a piece of lint or a fly just went through my house. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, Steph Curry.
Hey, sorry, bro. I'm hyped. That's my boy.
See, but then if it's a bad game and you're watching it, then you just go like, oh, yeah, Steph Curry, man. Warriors are trash. See, I lost you again. I wish y'all could see that. You just, what are you looking at?
The
You're
TV.
interrupting the podcast.
I'm not interrupting. I'm all ears, bro.
You're interrupting me. It's distracting. I should just probably take your feed off of the video here.
I hear you. All right, yeah, I got another. Well, 2 players on one team that is currently in the play-in on East. I'd like to touch on. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, go ahead with the Brooklyn.
It's guys. No, not Brooklyn. Not Brooklyn. I said play-in.
Yeah,
get out of here.
They're trying to play into the finals because we don't know how that might happen or might not happen. Team chemistry. Where is it at?
Yeah. So these 2 guys actually they're like not ever talked about, but I think they're big deals in itself for this team. Is Indiana. Just a couple injury news for them. They've been constantly. It felt like the second half of the year, just somewhere in that play-in tournament, 8th, 9th, 10th seeds. I think they bounced around all of them a little bit. So yeah, they're currently 1 game below Charlotte for 8th, and they're half a game above Washington. So I mean, they could go up to 8th or easily go down to 10th. So I don't see them done moving before the regular season. But yeah, 2 guys out for them. Malcolm Brogdon, obviously. Shout out UVA, but he's missed 6 straight games out with an injury, and they still really don't have a timetable for him to return. I think he's like game to game at this point. So I mean, hopefully he can come back, and knock a little rust off before the regular season ends. The fact that they haven't said he's out till this, it's just like every game he's being ruled out. So that should be a little optimism there. And then Miles Turner, that's a guy that I haven't heard anybody say his name in a long time, but he's been out for a while as is. But I think earlier in the year he was balling for Indiana. I think he kind of slowed down a little bit later in the season when he was healthy, but he's out. They say probably at least the regular season. So maybe playing. There's a shot of him coming. The team hasn't really given many updates on him, but they said to expect him out at least the end of the regular season. And then I wouldn't be surprised if he missed the playing game, but I think there's a slight chance of him possibly playing. So that's something to look out for there too. Sabonis was out too. He's back now. He's balling, putting up triple doubles. But yeah, those two guys would definitely help them out in the play-in situation to get two of their starting guys back.
I hear what you're saying, but you lost me when you said shout out to UVA.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah, I know. And I just got to thinking, man, what's up with the UVA and the Duke players this year and Virginia Tech, maybe? Like the injuries. You got Malcolm Brogdon. I'm getting off subject here. I don't care. Malcolm Brogdon, your boy from Atlanta, what's his name? That got blocked by
DeAndre
Zion.
Hunter.
That dude. Zion himself. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, if you're a Tech fan.
He's back.
He's back now, but Marvin Bagley, he's back, but most of the season gone.
Where'd he go? Duke?
Yeah.
Joe Harris been reliable. Ty Jerome was Ty Jerome was balling for OKC. I think he just got hurt, but before that,
did he really just get hurt? Dang, that's crazy. A lot of people.
Well, you dropped him in fantasy, and I went to pick him up, but he's day to day.
Didn't pick him up. He's day to day.
I think he rolled his ankle. So man, me and D might be a little chippy this week. We're playing each other in a finals.
I'm not gonna be chippy. If I'm chippy, it's not because of that. It's just because of just watching you do that. You're looking at.
I just looked up at the score, bro. I'll look right back down. That's it. We're up 3 with 5 seconds left. If you were wondering, you got anything to add about the Indiana players, or you ain't got nothing to say about me?
You lost me at UVA, so no, I don't have anything to add.
All right, well let's talk. Let me say something about a player. You probably got something to speak on a little bit.
I'm ready.
All right. Speaking of Utah, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell.
DM.
Yeah. So he's been out. What do you say he's been out now? 2 weeks, maybe, probably something like that. It's been a little bit.
I feel like it's been longer than 2 weeks, but maybe
it might have been. I feel like it's at least been that. But yeah, so he is being reevaluated on Friday. So another player with a chance. Reevaluated doesn't mean coming back, but reevaluated. I think they have a game today. I think it said they have one more game later on in the week that he already been ruled out on, and it said he's being reevaluated on Friday. So another guy with a slight chance to maybe come back and play maybe 1 or maybe 2 more games at the end of regular season. If not,
it is important.
I think that would work. I think if they wanted to sit him too, I think it's important for him to get in there and knock a little rust off. But 2, let him sit those games, or maybe play him with just like a tight minute restriction, then have the few days off for the play-in and get him a little more rest. Either way, I wouldn't push him because he's a big deal. But they're winning without him, so I don't know.
I basically was going to say the same thing. So yeah, that's all I was going to say. Is that when you're in that situation, they've been winning games without him, so they don't really need to push him to come back. But he should get in there to get some reps in. But outside of that, you get the extended rest because you're not in the play-in tournament. That's going to take place over 3 days, so you get a few extra days rest there. You got home court advantage, so you're not traveling for the first couple games. Yeah, you're in good position. But yeah, he definitely need to get some reps in. Hey, shout out to DeJountis, bro. Shout out to DeJountis. I don't know if you saw his Instagram post. He got a bunch of Yeezys, bro. I know you like them.
Did he?
Man, terrible. Go check it out.
I saw he put on Facebook that about his features. I'm a save up and get a feature. Just talk about basketball.
Features about what?
Feature to be on the song, or for him to feature on my song. I'll make a song.
What?
He said he charged he charging $1,500 for a feature. I'm a pay him $1,500 and get him on a feature to my song.
You don't even have music. What do you?
I'm gonna get you to make me a beat.
Oh
hey, for anybody curious, D over here makes beats. I'm gonna get him to make me a beat.
I don't really make beats like that.
Gonna come in.
That's just like.
Well, you could
Use it. I don't have any of that equipment. Shout out to Rob Brown.
All right, just just hit up just hit up Metro Boomin for me then.
I don't know him. I don't mess with 21.
It's not just 21. Metro Boomin has his whole albums. He's done like 2 albums with 21,
Hey,
but no, he
we're
ain't just
from
with 21.
Virginia, so you can either shout out Pharrell or Timbaland, bro. Go big.
Yeah, Timbaland's like 2010.
That's what you think.
Yeah. Hey, you want to touch on? You want to go south a little bit? You want to touch on New Orleans?
Rephrase that, please.
You want to touch on New Orleans? A couple players down there missing some time.
Okay.
All right. So just to update everybody, the Pelicans are sitting currently at the 11th seed. They are. What are they? They're a game and a half. No, 2.5 games back from San Antonio for the 10th spot. So, I mean, they would have to win a few. And they probably have to win out, to be honest. And the Spurs would have to lose a couple. But that will be harder because Zion is out indefinitely. I know he's already missed a few games. But, yeah, there's still really no, distinct time when he's coming back. It still says that he is out indefinitely. And Brandon Ingram has missed 3 straight. And I think he's kind of like day-to-day at this point. So, I mean, hopefully he can come back soon. But, I mean, Zion is kind of their main guy down there doing everything for him. So that's big. So
Once again,
faith.
shout out to the Duke players. I don't know what you're doing, bro. This is terrible. You're messing us up. But, I mean,
Yes.
This is unfortunate also as well because this is going to be his Zion's second NBA season and possibly not being in the playoffs at all after 2 seasons in the league. And Ja might have the opportunity to, obviously be in the playoffs here. I mean, he's going to be in the play-in tournament the way it looks right now. But, yeah, I mean, he almost made it last year. So I always look at that competition from a standpoint, just because they both came into the league. They're both, hyped up players. But, who's going to have the better career path type of thing. I'm just kind of keeping a mental note. But yeah, that's big news for the Pelicans as a whole because in my opinion, going forward, I mean, we're going to do some videos later, probably in the off season, where we're going to talk about what teams need to do. And maybe we'll do it as a PTO where we do a personal takeover, but we'll do something along the other in the playoffs. But in case that happens before we get to that in the off season, if this happens at the end of the regular season because they didn't make the playoffs, I think they're going to probably fire their coach, Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that's understanding. Extremely disappointing. Pelicans have a lot of potential, but I'm shocked they couldn't carry enough momentum and get past the Spurs for 10th by now. I mean, the Spurs are the Spurs. You don't really hear nothing from them. Got rid of Aldridge. I didn't think they were much. Derek White out for the rest of the year. I mean, DeMar, it's about the only thing they had going for him, DeJounte Murray. But I mean, yeah, Zion and BI, you would think at least playing. But yeah, they ain't even do that. Extremely disappointing. But I mean, I'm not just going to base it off injuries. I mean, they've been playing together for most of these seasons. So I mean, they've had plenty of opportunities and just failed. Josh Hart was out too. Josh Hart is out. Josh Hart is out too. So that's another guy for them. But yeah, I mean, they look great on paper. It's just disappointing.
Somebody's going to take the blame for this, and it's probably going to be the coach. I mean, it's just going to be the coach.
Yeah, shout out the Clippers.
Injuries, but there's been a lot of times where they've had enough personnel to make it through these games. I mean, it's not all injuries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they've been, Zion and BI have. I don't think either of them have missed like an extended time this season, have they? With injury, I don't think so. Not extended time. Zion and Brandon Ingram. I don't think either of them missed extended time, did they? Not that I can recall.
No, not huge amounts of time, but they missed some time here and there. Just
So I mean, it's just disappointing.
Lonzo Ball was the one that missed an extended amount of time there for a good chunk of the season, for several weeks, like a month or something like that.
So yeah, I mean, just disappointing there. But yeah, especially with Zion out, Ingram's day to day, so he might play next game, might not. But he'll should be back for the end of the regular season. But still, I mean, just with 2.5 games behind the Spurs and DeMar DeRozan's been balling as of late. So yeah, I don't really see them being able to make the play-in and being the 11th seed odd team looking in. So disappointing. I think Pelicans fans had a lot high expectation. Well, I don't want to say being in the West and how stacked the West is this year, I don't want to say high expectations, but at least make the playoffs, play-in tournament. But yeah, they ain't even do that. So yeah, I would say
I
stay
mean,
in
a lot of
Bennett
this
needs to
still
go.
kind of reflects on the organization. I mean, they had David Griffin, and I believe in him as far as what he can do as a GM standpoint. But is this not like what we just witnessed the last several years before Zion when they had AD? I mean, not making the playoffs or barely making the playoffs and losing. I mean, they had a great series at one time when they were underdogs. But outside of that, I mean, it's just kind of like repeating itself. Like you got this great NBA talent, like not just as far as like somebody who should be an all-star or is an all-star. Like you got a global brand talent there in Zion, and yeah, to not make the playoffs. I mean, Zion's a bigger name than AD was back then. You know what I mean? Like as far as
Yeah,
global wise, I mean, everybody knows Zion. Like a lot of people know who Zion is. He's basically at the moment the most popular like Gen Z player in the league. I mean, we could probably all agree to that. Like
yeah.
that's the dude. But to not be in the playoffs, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and, not to talk about the Pelicans this whole time, but yeah, like you touched on, I mean, they're if you just look at their team from like paper, they look stacked. I mean, Lonzo, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Zion, and Steven Adams at the five as their starting five. Like that's not a bad starting five, but I mean, yeah, just haven't been able to get enough wins. Haven't been able to
I
play
mean,
well
yeah,
enough.
this
So
is just one of those examples. Like it's just coaching. It's basically what the Brooklyn Nets are going to run into in the playoffs.
no, we'll see about that. You take them subliminal shots like that. We'll see. It ain't happened yet.
Take shots. I mean, it's recorded here live. You can go back and watch the feed. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. I have my opinions, and that's what people are here for. They want to hear it. You can disagree, put in the comments. You can agree, put in the comment. I don't really care. I'm not
All right.
disrespecting players, but I just believe what I believe. Like
I
I'm not out here.
disrespected Kyle Kuzma and Jamal Murray a few times in this podcast.
You have, yes, you have. You have stated
Hey,
that.
it was necessary at the time.
Why did you light a fire under them? Look what you did to Jamal Murray. You are
Well,
see
Kuzma,
prime
hey, they're
example of
both
how
out
bad
right
of
now.
a
They're
jinx
both
you
out
are.
right now, bro.
Who?
Kuzma's out too.
See, look, this is what you do. This is what you do. Since 2019, as far as I know, it might have dated back further than that. How
Last
long the
year I shut
Cowboys
off.
been losing?
Last
Wait,
year,
we're talking about football.
oh, since before I was born. The year before I was born.
They were
Yeah,
winning back then. No,
that
actually,
was the last
right,
Super
never
Bowl.
mind.
The year before I was
Yeah.
born. But yeah, hey, let's get to a player. I'm sure you got a little bit to talk about. Let me ask you something, right?
What happened to the Brooklyn Nets? I thought we were talking about that for a little bit.
No, we're going to the your favorite team in the West.
How are the Brooklyn Nets not in more, I don't know if you want to say improved, but a higher expectation form of the New Orleans Pelicans?
I mean, I would tell you now. I've been high on Brooklyn the whole season, but
That's what
the
I'm
way
saying.
they've been playing, the last couple of games, I have them. What do you say this episode's called? On the brink?
On the brink.
Yeah, I would say they're probably trending downwards. I mean, they dropped. They were contending for the first spot. They were actually holding it for a little bit, and then they lost like 4 in a row and went down to.
I mean,
They had
that's what I'm saying.
Milwaukee
Can I
past them.
legitimately say that maybe the Brooklyn Nets are like the Pelicans of the East and in that aspect? Obviously, not the same record, but just like what you're saying, like the expectation of, man, what happened? You just dropped off. Like it's the Brooklyn Nets. People are expecting more of you, kind of like with the Lakers there. But the Lakers
Well,
at least have
I think
2
one thing.
injuries.
I think one thing with the Brooklyn you can claim is injuries. I mean, I know they still have all stars, but I mean, Durant missed a lot of time. Harden missed a lot of time.
Did Durant really have an injury that whole time though? I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
bro, I ain't one to judge. I just do it. I don't.
I'm not judging.
I mean, I
I'm
don't know.
telling you, bro. I'm telling you as a fan that watches the league. I mean, I don't think he was injured that whole time. When James Harden was carrying like that, he wasn't injured. I think he's just resting his injury because it's like it's not necessary to play him a lot. You need him down the stretch. That's what I'm saying.
I feel
It's
that.
like Kawhi Leonard when he went to Toronto and he didn't play, but sometimes not on back-to-backs and stuff. Was he really injured? No, he had a formal injury that they had to take care of, but he wasn't really in shape to. I mean, he was in the shape that he could have been able to play, but.
Well, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I mean, if you just look at their roster and then see how at one point this week or last week they were third in the rankings, I would say it's disappointing. But I mean, another thing too, to look at, just like I just touched on. I mean, guys missing time. That's why I'm saying like probably the difference is because Zion and Bi, they haven't missed extended time. I mean, everybody missed a game here and there, and a few games at a time. But I mean, KD obviously missed extended time. Harden missed extended time. So I mean, I think that factors into a little bit. I mean, I know they should still win games, with just two of the guys. Hell, sometimes even with one of the guys themselves. But I do think that plays a factor. And I mean, look at Blake Griffin. I saw he just had a 20 some point game last game or whatever. But I mean, they just got him, like halfway through the year. So I mean, they didn't have him for a while. So
but
I mean, I
this
wouldn't
is
say
one thing.
I wouldn't say that overall they're disappointing. The last week they lost 4 in a row. That's disappointing. But,
So to counter that, on the brink, we can't live out the Milwaukee Bucks. We don't ever talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. They're kind of getting in the shadows a little bit, even though they're a great team. But like you said about Drew Holiday yesterday, one of the top point guards in the league, on the brink. So if Brooklyn Nets are on the brink of falling, then that means the Milwaukee Bucks are on the brink of climbing, getting back to that second spot. Either way, you're talking about a second. They're one game apart.
Yeah,
bro.
only one game behind.
So either way, the second round, this is basically the second round, assuming that both of these teams win their first round. That's crazy. That's going to be a tough series. And then that would go back to a video we did earlier about a month ago when I said, don't be surprised if the Brooklyn Nets don't make it out of the second round. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks fan. Shout out to the Feeling Lucky podcast.
They Bucks fans.
They're from Milwaukee, yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's
I'll try to put a card up if I can find. I'm not sure if they have a YouTube or not.
Okay.
They're associated with Hops News. Maybe if I don't have there, I'll put in the Hops News up here, the card for them, because they're on that podcast, but then they have their own podcast. The two guys, Lucky and Big Daddy, are the two guys' names. So they were also with us on the Tavern Geek when we did like a collab. So that was dope. Shout out to Tavern Geek too. Might as well go ahead and plug that in. I'll put that up there too.
Yeah. You good?
Are you?
Yeah, I'm straight. I'm trying to get to a team I'm sure you want to say a little bit about.
All right.
Let me ask you something, right? Last night we saw AD put up 42. We saw him beat, who'd they beat? Denver? Is that who they played? Denver?
Somebody big.
Phoenix.
Yeah, son. Shout out to Tavern Geek again. Dang.
And then they, the game before that, AD had, I can't remember, 30 maybe, something like that. So it looks like the last two games, he's looking more like his former self, trying to carry the Lakers a little bit. So let me ask you something: you think AD's back? You think he's knocked the rust off? You think he's ready to go, or you think these two games are just flukes?
That's what we talked about at work, and we left it for this podcast because we didn't discuss it at all.
Yeah, so I'm asking you, what's your take on that?
I mean, we both got to give an opinion about that. I mean, if he's balling like that, he should have knocked some rust off, in my opinion. Like he should be. I mean, how many weeks has he been back now? Almost 2 full weeks. You would say?
Yeah, probably a little
like
less.
A handful of games. I mean, maybe he's adding a little bit more to his game as far as being more assertive, more aggressive. I haven't really been keeping up with watching games, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, if he's doing that, and he looks like he's trying to find Drummond here and there sometimes, when you catch a highlight of him giving an assist to Drummond, but that's what they need. They need him to step up, but they also need him to be assertive and know what he is capable of doing and go into that. So LeBron not being there is kind of like a good thing for him to get back into not settling for, well, I'll get my touches behind LeBron, or I'll let LeBron do his thing. Like, no, you do you be that guy like we saw last year in the playoff bubble, where he's just like, I want that. I want those big shots. I want those big time plays. And I mean, he's doing what he can. I mean, if they had that win, that's very impressive. I think you told me when you were telling me about it, you were like, man, that's shocking, because you said the Phoenix Suns basically had everybody healthy.
Yeah, I don't think like anybody is missing. I mean, they had Ayton, had Chris Paul, had Booker. I know, who was it? They said somebody last night was having a great game, but I knew like Booker didn't shoot well, Chris Paul didn't shoot well. Like a bunch of those guys didn't have I think Ayton only had like 6 points, maybe something like that. I had 6 points in the fourth, I think. But when I saw it, like I would, they AD stuffed him. But I mean,
yeah, sometimes that happens. And you'll have a bad game. It's not a 7-game series; it's a 1 game right there. And I mean, it just didn't work in their favor. They didn't have enough to go around. It seemed like they were all catching that bad game flu, you know.
Yeah, I think they came back and made
42
it close there
points.
at the end.
But
But
42 points ain't no joke against a team like that. It's
no,
not
no,
Phoenix Suns from last year or 2 years ago. It's Phoenix Suns this year. Been
yeah,
up there in the tops of the West all season long.
yeah, I feel you. But to get my take on AD, I think he's back. I think he's feels fine. I think he's ready to roll. I don't think he's on a minute restriction anymore or anything like that. I mean, I think he came back and he looked really rusty. Like I was
Hey,
expecting to be
we
a little
talked
rusty,
about
but
that. Remember you
not
mentioned that
like
to me.
I was expecting him to be a little rusty like anybody when they came back. But I mean, he was like really rusty, like
But I
single
told you, I
digit points
said
in
he's
multiple
got to get
games
those
rusty,
repetitions in. He's got to
like
get those
really
reps in.
rusty. But he went from I think he had like 6 points and like 8 points like a couple games after he came back to 42 like a week later. So I mean, yeah, I think he's back. I think he had 42 and 12 last night, so a double there. But I mean, yeah, knocking 42 ain't a fluke. I mean, you got to be balling to do that. Like he was carrying them last night. No Kuzma, no LeBron. I don't even think Drummond. I think I saw his stat line. I don't think he even did much. I think it was pretty
I don't
much
know. What do you have? Like
a
4
AD
6
show.
points, 10 boards, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I don't think he scored much. I think that was on AD. But yeah, AD was just everybody talking about LeBron. He's like, I mean, y'all kind of forgetting what I can do. So I think he's back. I think, like I said, I think he had 30 some or upper 20s 2 games ago, and then last night went off. So yeah, we'll see. They got a back to back Tuesday and Wednesday, like we touched on earlier with LeBron. But yeah, we'll see what it does then, and we'll see how they get back on the court together. We'll see. We'll see what AD does then if he just takes the back. I'm gonna get my shots behind LeBron, or if he says, you know what, no, I'm gonna show my dominance.
See,
I'm gonna go toe to toe with him. So we'll see what happens there. But I think he's back. I think he's good. I think he's knocked the rust off. I think he should be good to go now.
this is the thing, because of the standings, the Portland Trailblazers are sitting in 6th spot, which is where the Lakers obviously were about a week ago, and they're only 1 game behind Portland. Probably going to be 2. I'm sure Portland's wrapping up this game against the
Won.
the Rockets. So yeah, if I updated that, I'm sure it's 2. So obviously they would need Portland to lose some games, and Lakers would have to keep trending on their win streak, if you want to call it that. And what?
Sorry. How many
No,
games
you're
they won?
not.
One. They
No, you're
won.
not. Huh?
How many games they win? One.
Yeah. It's a 1-game win streak. It's still considered a win streak. That's what
Well,
I
at
said.
this
If you
point,
want to
why are we
call it
talking
that.
about? Hey, at this point, why are we talking about the Warriors catching up to them? You ain't
Because
mentioned the
the
Warriors catching up
relevance
to them.
here is the Warriors are 3 games behind the Lakers.
No, we won.
Okay, so where are you? I don't have this updated. Sorry. Fill me in.
We should be 2 games behind them now.
I'll click. Give me a minute.
Well, should be. We won. So.
You
Oh
were
yeah,
looking
to
at the
touch on because
TV and it pop up?
earlier we
All
were
right.
talking about.
Okay. Real quick. The Lakers are 1.5 games behind Portland and 2.5 games in front of the Warriors.
Oh, okay. Half game. Okay. Yeah, just to do a quick plug real quick because we touched on it earlier. Curry finished with 36 tonight. So yeah, he's another I think he had 31.9. So I mean higher than there. He might be at 32 now. So yeah, I don't see Bill catching him unless Curry has a couple awful games.
So back to the Lakers. What were we talking
Just
about?
wanted to plug that in.
We were talking about the return. You keep plugging in the Warriors we all know, bro. We all know.
Nah, you don't. You disrespect him, man.
No, it's okay. If this was an ESPN show, they would call you the Stephen A. Of the Golden State Warriors, like he is with the Knicks. That's just you. We all know.
Let me ask you something. Here. Okay, you're the Lakers. How worried are you? I just want your opinion on. You ain't got to get real deep into it. I just want your slight opinion on this. But you're the Lakers. You're sitting at 7, and you got the Warriors at 8. How nervous are you about playing them in the play-in tournament?
Either way, you probably would have to play them unless you get to 6. My goal is to get to 6, so I'm not really worried about the Warriors. And then if I have to play the Warriors, then just go past that and look forward to maybe obtaining the 8th seed in the 2nd round. Like it's one way or the other. Like, can you beat the Warriors? Of course you could beat the Warriors, but it just depends on the health of your players. If LeBron's still trying to come back and he has an off game and you wind up losing, I don't look at that as like, okay, well, dang, we're sitting in 8th potentially if we win the next game. Yeah, obviously the next one is a have to win in the second round of the play-in tournament if you lose to the Warriors in the first round, so you can make that eighth spot. But I'm not going to look at it like, man, we're trash. I mean, injuries happen, and like you said, that's just part of it, and you got to move past that and have that mentality as an organization that, hey, you're still defending champs. You could be anywhere you want to be. You're still going to have a series of best of 7. And then with COVID being still a present thing in the NBA and the way things are set up for home games, I mean, is home court advantage really still a thing outside of travel? I mean,
They
when it
got
comes
some
to
fans,
fans,
bro. They got some
they
fans.
have some fans, but we've seen the Lakers when it comes to the Staples Center. You know, you can even watch like a Clippers game if there's enough Laker fans in there. It's crazy. So it's not the full effect still. Same thing with the Golden State Warriors. It's not the full effect when you have the arena full of Golden State Warrior fans. Like, it's just something about having an arena full of people
Yeah.
that support you, like the whole arena. Like you're talking about now, even with some of the stadiums or all the stadiums that have fans, that you could still hear an individual when they're shouting out to a player. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they would have to be very loud or doing a quiet segment like a free throw for that to happen in a regular setting with home court.
I get what you're
It's just
saying.
that much louder.
And I don't think I get exactly what you're saying. And I don't think it means as much as past seasons, but I still think it matters. A lot of it, like you talked about travel purposes. I mean, you got home court advantage, you get to keep your same routine. You get to do what you got to do what you're comfortable with. So, I mean, I do think that matters slightly. And then, I mean, even though it ain't many, I mean, some fans, I mean, I still think that matters probably a little bit. But yeah, it ain't nothing compared to a packed arena like you touched on. I mean, I completely agree with you there. I mean, I still think you try to get home court, but it's not probably as big of a deal as other seasons.
Just to let everybody know, there was no glitch there as far as I know. Nothing happened with the lag that sped up Hugh's voice 1.5 times. That was just him talking very fast.
Well, I just had something to say.
Oh, you said it. You wrapped it up in 2.5 seconds.
But yeah, but I will say this. I will say, let's say Lakers stay at 7 and Warriors stay at 8, and they play in a play. Give me Golden State. The way Curry's balling, I know that's going out on a limb there. But I will say, okay. I'm just going to say this. Either way, with either of them teams, let's say,
Steven, this wasn't an episode for that, but go ahead.
I'm just touching. It's one sentence. Let's say Lakers or Warriors lose. Either way, give me either one of them teams against the Grizzlies or Spurs. So I do see both them teams. So, well, I wanted to touch on both them teams are like trending up for me.
Okay.
Especially the Lakers with their injuries coming back. But I mean, the Warriors too.
So, okay, well, I mean, obviously
like they
the
beat
Lakers
Utah
are
tonight. Like that's a big deal.
Are the Lakers going to be able to get that 6th spot?
Nah.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
I see Portland retaining that. I mean, it might get close. It could happen, but
it's close enough already.
I think Portland, Norman Powell, bro, he's underrated. He's been balling.
I mean, the Lakers got to win the easies. They got to definitely beat the Rockets in a couple of days. They got to win that Rockets game.
Yeah, they should win that. I think Portland beat them by like 20-something.
I mean, but they got to win that Rockets game. They have to.
Yeah, I mean, unless something happened with the Blazers, I see the Lakers staying in 7th. Like I said, it could happen. They're only a game and a half back, but I mean, they're playing decent ball right now. What I could actually see is the Blazers. So what are they, a half game now behind the Mavs? So I could see that. I could see them with how inconsistent the Mavs have been. I could see the Blazers taking over the 5th spot, to be honest. Before I see the Lakers passing the Blazers, I see the Blazers passing the Mavs.
So do you see the Lakers passing the Dallas Mavericks?
What's that? They're 2 games behind them currently. I don't know. Luka keeps getting ejected, bro.
I mean, he's one technical foul away from being suspended for a whole game.
You see where he hit Colin Sexton? You see that?
No, did not watch it. What happened?
Yesterday? Colin Sexton bumped him and he swung his hand down and hit him right where the sun don't shine. He got ejected. He said after it, because at first he he was mad he's getting ejected, but then he said after the game, he said I didn't mean to, but he said I went and watched the tape and I did. Like he bumped him. He was getting a rebound. Colin Sexton bumped him, and then Luka swung his hand down and hit him right there with the sun don't shine. So yeah, he got ejected there, but he apologized to him after the game. He said, he didn't mean to, but he did watch the video and saw where he did it.
Luka gets very emotional. He's very emotionally invested in the game, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but
once he learns how to channel that into the future, and get more acclimated to the NBA game and stuff, and how they do things as far as calling things for him or not calling things for him, then hopefully if he channels that in the right direction, then that's going to be, that's going to be another level for Luka right there. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's
bro.
one technical foul away from being
Missing the whole
suspended for
game. Is
that.
Porzingis back? I don't
That's
even think he's back yet, is he?
who that?
I mean, for real though, is he even back? So I mean, if Luka misses, that's huge. Tim Hardaway got to carry him in.
Jalen Brunson got to carry it.
Yeah, that's true. He balling too. But yeah, so I would say the Blazers would pass the Mavs before the Lakers would pass the Blazers. Just to get back to what I was saying. And then yeah, to round out that,
Well,
I
no.
mean,
Well, then that's why I asked you: would the Lakers pass in the scenario that the Blazers go up to, what are you saying, fifth, and the Mavericks fall down to six? Can the Lakers pass the Mavericks to get into six? And then the Mavericks are sitting at the seventh.
the
I
only
mean,
way I
two
see
game
that
difference.
happening, is if Luka does get
I mean, it's a great
suspended a
possibility
game.
that he could. He's one
Yeah.
technical foul away, and it just depends on if there's a specific ref that's giving him more text than other refs, which I think the other day he said it was. If he's got that referee again and he does something that the referee feels like it's kind of slighted, then he might as well just give him that technical foul. And then next thing you know, the next game he's out. I mean, 5 games is a lot to not get a technical foul for somebody who's racking them up here lately, and some of them are by accident. I mean, like you said, he did it, but didn't realize he did it. But yet,
Yeah.
if the referee sees it and wants to act upon it and call it what it is, then there's nothing he can do. There's a period of review that the league can review, because they did get one rescinded. The one I think where he complained about a foul and the referee
Yeah.
thought he was, or he was yelling at her or something like that.
No. He yelled and one.
Yeah, he yelled and one. She thought it was directed at her, like intentionally, like and one. Like, you need to call that next time quicker, like a hostile environment type of thing, I guess. But they reviewed it
Yeah.
and rescinded it. But
That's
if
dumb
that
anyways.
happens, something along those lines, like "come on," you know what I mean, like exclamation point, then you just become the DeMarcus Cousins for the Dallas Mavericks. Like, that guy just always got technical fouls, even though he was a great player. It's just like, if a referee has some ideology about you in their mind, then you have to
Shout
be aware of that.
out Draymond. He
Shout out Draymond.
behaving better this
You
year.
watch.
He behaving better
No,
this year.
watch next year when y'all are up in the standings more. Watch. He's going to start racking up technical fouls next year.
Probably.
They're
Hey,
just
you
going to
got to
give it
update.
to him.
You got updated standings put up. You said right.
I had, yeah.
How many? So is Phoenix only one game out of first now since Utah lost, or is it 1.5
I think
games?
it's 1.5.
1.5. So that's something to watch out there for too, bro. I mean,
Because Utah.
they both lost, but you see any more movement, D? You see the Nuggets possibly passing the Clippers? They're only one game back from them.
Man, they are only one game back. I don't know. I didn't look at the schedules, but I mean, that's very well a possibility that, man, that'd be shocking that Jokic would get them to third. If Jokic gets them in the third, that pretty much would seal his MVP.
Yeah.
Because that's tough.
That's a tough one. That to me,
doing all
that
this
to me
without
comes down
Jamal
straight
Murray.
to. Yeah, that right there about where they're going to finish comes down straight to schedule. Like, if I knew their schedule, I'd probably be able to tell you. But that comes straight to me about schedule. I wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets beat them, just depending on their how tough their schedules are. So that's a good one. Yeah, I can see
right
either
now
way.
with the Blazers, and maybe that's what the Lakers want. Maybe if you're the Lakers, you're okay playing in the play-in, because after just playing Phoenix, you got to look at it from a strategic standpoint. Right now, sitting in third is the Clippers. You might not be ready for the Clippers this season because they're going to come at your throat. They want to be the best team in LA. But if you're the Blazers, you're sitting in 6. Yeah, you might want to pass the Mavericks. And then that gets back to what I predicted before about a potential Mavericks Clippers series, a rematch from last year. That would be crazy. So either way. Or, like you said, if Denver goes up to third, Clippers fall to fourth, and Portland goes up to fifth, then there you go. You got Portland and Clippers again. So, that's kind of a toss-up. But, yeah, if Jokic can get them in third, that's impressive. That's very impressive. I mean, what he's done now is impressive. He's got him up to fourth.
Yeah, that's a team I'd definitely say is trending up.
They're trending
with what
up.
We're talking
What
about
worries
here.
me is in a 7-game series, but it just depends on matchups. If Jokic got somebody on him that that favors his matchup. I mean, they could definitely win the series, but in a 7-game series, they're going to definitely work on, using your depth, because they're going to be like, okay, no Jamal Murray, and now it's just like Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. You have to see if his defense improved over last year because of what the Clippers were able to do to him in the playoffs last season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. But one thing the Nuggets have going for them is a lot of guys stepped up, specifically Michael Porter Jr. He's been balling lately. I know they got Austin Rivers. He's been, a consistent double-digit scorer as of late. So I mean, they got guys stepping up. Same like Utah without Donovan Mitchell. He put up against Golden State. He put up 41 tonight. They had 24 in the fourth. So I mean, guys, without their main, point guards being able to step up and help these high playoff teams still contend and stay where they're at. It's a bit surprising. I expected both these teams obviously to dip a little bit without, that much talent on the floor, losing that, right at a time where they needed them the most. But shout out those two teams, being able to stand it. That's why you build so much depth around your team. Have deep teams. It shows what they're doing. Like the Lakers, they lost both their guys. They don't have outstanding depth, and they sunk a little bit. But I mean, it's teams like Utah, Phoenix, and the Nuggets are the big ones to me that stand out in the West. They are deep teams, and a guy can go down, miss some time, and like Denver. I mean, they've got better. They've won more. They've went up in the standings. So I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, shout out to them, and building the teams the way they did and putting together an all around good team that contend even when their star players are out.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Denver and Utah. I mean, the shakeup of it looking different than last year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think different things are happening this season, but when it comes to playoffs, I mean, that's just a different story. It's like a hard reset for some teams. Like they feel like they can carry that momentum, and then some teams are like, you know what? I don't care what we did in the regular season. It's a new season.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to touch on, because we're talking about all this stuff. It just said on the TV that with the win tonight, the Warriors clinched at least a play-in spot. So they're in there.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
go.
the Pelicans cannot catch up to that because the Pelicans are 5 games behind, and there's only 5 games left. And I guess they hold the tiebreaker if the Warriors were to lose all 5 and the Pelicans win all 5, the next 5. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there 5 games left? Actually, no. What's that? That's 69. There's only 3 games left. 4 games left for the Warriors. That's why. Yeah, the Pelicans are 5 games behind, but there's only 4 games left.
Okay.
So, yep, that seals it off right there.
Well, hey, let me ask you this. All right, we've talked about the West a lot and their standings and where we think those teams are trending. Okay, and I even talked about the East, the play-in a little bit with the Celtics, Hornets, Pacers, and Wizards. We talked about that, but a couple of teams we haven't talked about is like 4th, 5th, and 6th in the East. You got the Knicks 9 games back. You got the Hawks at 9.5, and you got Miami at 6 at 10 games back. So I mean, all 3 teams right there within 1 game of each other. So what's your take on them? You got any of them teams trending up or down, or what's going on there?
For the East, you say?
Yeah, Knicks, Hawks, and Heat.
Yeah, you lost me when you said shout out to UVA.
I didn't. Shut up. DeAndre Hunter coming back soon, so I mean, hey, it might be shout out to UVA soon.
I mean, yeah, that's tough. I didn't realize it was that close, but I'm trying to look at the standings there. But I mean, the Knicks has been holding it down for a while, and it has been close like the whole time. I mean, it's hard to say if there's going to be any more movement. I mean, yeah, some things depend on schedule, but the Knicks, I mean, outside of any of these injuries here, I mean, the Miami Heat is one of those teams we talked about a month or so ago. Like, don't sleep on them because that's what happened last season in the playoffs. Like, they're nowhere to be found, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're on the rise. When Jimmy Butler gets going, Bam seems like he's been getting it going here lately. Like, bro, that bubble fatigue is starting to wear off. I told you it is real. You didn't believe me. It is real. Look at Bam. Look at his stats here lately, bro. It's real. And bro, if Jimmy gets it going, like, yeah, they're trying to not get in the play-in, but with the Celtics being behind them and they're a man short, I mean, the only way to go for the Miami Heat, in my opinion, is up.
Yeah.
Could they get past the Hawks? Maybe, but the Hawks do have Trae Young coming back, so yeah, I don't know their schedule either, but the Hawks are impressive when they play certain teams. The New York Knicks are impressive when they play certain teams. All of these all these teams right here, those three teams are actually where, in a mix up of where they need to be because they've beaten some tough teams and had some tough games. So I can't take anything away from any of them. But yeah, it
Yeah,
could easily be a shakeup. I don't even have any bold predictions for that. I'm just gonna
yeah.
be like, just staying pat, you know.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, yeah. I think the Knicks are trending up. They've been playing great basketball, probably the best like defense in the league right now. Like to be honest, I mean they're going crazy over there. But yeah, give me the Knicks at 4. I'm gonna say they hang on to 4. Now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna switch Miami and Atlanta. That is all dependent on
Okay.
schedule. But
Okay.
Miami, they got a lot of experience. They're a great defensive team. They're a gritty team, a team that probably no one wants to play. And Atlanta has all the potential in the world, but that I should have them staying, to be honest. Trey Young's back, DeAndre Hunter's back, John Collins is balling. Bogdanovich and Gallinari, they've been balling. So I mean, I should have them staying, but I got a feeling. I got a feeling that Miami, they're only a half game back. So, if they get in a tiebreaker there, I'm not sure who holds that either. But I mean, I got Miami finishing at 5, to be honest. I got them trending up a little more. Like you just touched on, Bam's balling. He shot 100%, 5 from 5 from the field, put up 20 points last game. Jimmy Butler had, 26. I mean, these guys are stepping up, playing good basketball. You're not to say Atlanta's not, but Trey Young's, he missed some time and they were able to hold it down while he was going. He's back, so that just improves them. But all that's based on schedule. But I just gotta, my bold prediction, I have Miami. It's not even really bold, but my prediction would be to Miami take over that 5th spot by the end of the regular season.
What would be bold if you say Miami gets that 4th spot?
Yeah, I don't see him doing all that. Yeah, the Knicks are playing too good, in my opinion.
The Knicks are playing too good, but Miami
D
is doing
Rose, shout out
something.
D Rose, bro.
Shout out to D Rose, bro.
I'll
Represent,
give it to
man.
him. Shout
If
out D
y'all
Rose. He
haven't
been
been,
going off.
man, yeah. Oh, by the way, to any of our audio only listeners, I did a PPF on Derrick Rose, but I didn't do it as I did it solo, so I didn't record it to where I can extract the audio only and put that on the Anchor.fm or Spotify, wherever you find our podcast. I recommend that you go to YouTube and find our video under KISH YZ and look at the PPF there if you want to see that. But yeah, I just shouted him out and I covered him, and yeah, man, he's doing great things this season for New York. I mean, he's one of the main scorers as far as like the 3 guys, like the 3 most important guys, I guess, like Julius Randle. Then you got like RJ Barrett and D Rose in there in the mix, and a
Yeah.
cast of others that kind of contribute in different ways.
But yeah, I agree. I agree with what you touched on earlier. Sorry, I meant to say this. I don't have the Celtics passing any of them. If anything, I got the Celtics going down to Charlotte. But yeah, I think, worst thing that happens is Hawks fall to 6, but I don't have, either, even if somehow the Knicks fall, I don't have them going below 6. So yeah, I just think all 3 of them teams, shouldn't have to worry about playing. In my opinion, I think they're all probably pretty solid. Not having to be in the playing tournament, but yeah, give me Miami at 5. I just got a little urge. I'm a big Atlanta guy. I like Atlanta, but yeah, just something about Miami, man. They've been playing good late, and Bam and Jimmy Butler been starting to put things together down there. So yeah,
Here's
give me
the
the guys at
interesting
South
thing.
Beach.
Here's the interesting thing that I'm looking at when it comes to like the last few of some of these games. Okay, so starting up, the New York Knicks, they played 68 games, so they got 4 games left. The Hawks have played 69, so they only have 3. So if the Knicks lose, then the Hawks could possibly go up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Miami Heat, they played 68. So they have another extra game to play over the Hawks at the moment too. So that one extra game can make a difference here. So if I'm going down to the play-in tournament, Boston, Charlotte, Indiana, Washington Wizards at 10th. The Wizards have played 69 games. The Boston Celtics have played 68. The Charlotte Hornets have played 68. The Indiana Pacers have played 68. So the Wizards, I guess they're going to have they're going to have 4 games left, 3 games left over the next 7 days, basically. So things could fluctuate easily. Like the Pacers could just drop if they just basically lose the next game without the Wizards even playing their next game. And I was really hoping that for some type of matchup, I don't think I could see it happen where the Wizards go to 7th place and play the Brooklyn Nets, who are currently in 2nd. I guess the only way I could see that matchup would be for the playoffs would be if Brooklyn goes to the 1st place and the Wizards take the 8th spot after the play-in tournament. That could be a scenario.
Well, I mean, Philly would have to spiral out of control to finish for Brooklyn to take over. I have Philly like solidified as the first. They're
I mean,
3 games ahead.
Philly's played
How
68
many games they got? So they got how many games?
They
3?
both played 68. So they got 4 games left. It's 72.
So Philly would
I think
have
it's
to
72.
lose. Philly would have to lose 3, if not 4 of them, and Brooklyn would have to probably win out. So Brooklyn, I could see them winning out, but Philly, I don't have them losing 3 or 4 of their last 4. Yeah, I don't see
Probably
that
one
happening.
guaranteed loss might be when all 3 of them for Brooklyn play together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you
Not
can
just
say that.
messing with you. They'll probably win that game depending on who they're playing. It's just when it comes to the playoffs, that's when you gotta worry.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be an exciting week and a half.
Hey, we got big things going on next week, bro. We're going to be busy because we got to cover, like I said, we got to cover the play-in tournament, what we got going on there as far as predictions and what we see going on there between the matchups. And then we're going to do probably shorter videos and like an 8-part series to cover the first round as far as the matchups. We'll talk about what we expect to see between each first round matchup, which would be, like I said, an 8-part series. Probably how we're going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Excited.
Then we got the KISH Dundies.
Ready for playoff time.
We got the KISH Dundies. We got to do the regular season KISH Dundies, bro.
Let's do it.
The KISH Dundies. So we have to do, obviously, our predictions on the actual regular season awards and then our own awards.
Works for me.
You don't even know what that is, but I'm glad.
The Dundies?
The KISH Dundies.
I know what Dundies are. I was in the office.
Give me a KISH Dundee. A KISH Dundee. It's NBA related. You got any idea?
Probably like, want to do like, we would go do like dumb stuff, stupid stuff.
We get done with it.
I mean, like we can do like dumbest non-traded trade deadline would be Boston not getting a big dude. That's the trade.
Don't give it away. Hey, we can't do that now.
You just said you just asked if I had an example.
Yeah, but you didn't have to give the answer.
Well, I mean, just something along those. I mean, we won't have to do that one, but just something along those lines.
I'll tell you, one of the ones I got down is most. I'm drawing a blank right now, just staring at you, probably because of you. But most injury-prone player, MIPP. Don't overthink it. Save it for later. You're thinking and you're trying to give an answer now. I don't want you to do that. But we're going to go into that and we're going to have nominations. So what we're going to try to do, what I want us to do is have a list for each one of these, like 4 or 5 candidates for each category, and then we pick the winner.
How are we going to decide on the winner? Agree?
I don't know. We'll probably have to agree. It's going to be
we might have to get like a third parties, like a Earbud or KD, to give their input. Maybe have like a vote.
Want to do an off-screen vote?
Incorporate them.
That's what we're going to do. We'll probably do. That sounds like an interesting concept. Put in the comments if you like that. We'll do like an off-screen vote. We'll get like our opinions, you and I, and then like 3 others from work, or whatever. Yeah. Or you can DM us. Maybe we'll put the KISH Dundies on Twitter or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
Hey, you can do. I know you're new to Instagram. You can do like put stuff on your story and do polls. People can vote based on polls on your stories and stuff. You can't do post polls, but you can like.
I'm not a stripper. How about you put on the polls? Where can they find you on Instagram in case you do it?
Matt Sprouse _24. I'm not gonna do it, but you got the KISH Instagram.
Shame.
Actually, we will get a ton of votes if I did it on mine. Hey, if anybody watching it, whoever watching this, follow my IG. I'm trying to get the 900. I'm trying to get the 900 followers.
See, for what reason?
I'm so close.
You don't even advertise. You don't even advertise KISH on your thing. Yeah, do not follow him. If you're shout out to our subscribers. If you're already following him, unsubscribe, please. Unfollow him. Unfollow him.
That's rude. Please don't.
Please do, because he's not even advertising anything that we do here.
I've put us on our story before you had this.
What is us?
This podcast.
No, I doubt it. All he did was take a picture of me and just randomly put it on there.
No, you don't like
Yeah.
when I put you on the story, so I didn't do that.
Great disappointment, Hugh.
You gonna put me in the Dundies as most disappointing
Just
co-host?
show me how I'm an NBA player. This is NBA related.
I'm just joking.
You do look
But
like.
yeah. So just I like Sounds sad. It's probably gonna be something I didn't like.
What do you mean?
I don't know. No, I'm gonna give him an outro here. But yeah, hope y'all
You do
enjoyed
look
this
like
episode.
Demontis Sabonis' step cousin.
There we go. How do you think of that, bro?
Shout out to UVA.
Stop, bro. Shut up. That makes no sense. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. It's a good episode, nice little concept. Went back and forth. Like you said, playoffs coming up, got about a week and a half left. So yeah, we're gonna be pushing out content. So be sure to, check them out. If there's anything specific y'all want, drop in the comments to any of our videos, or put DM KISH on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Let us know if there's something specific you want us to talk about. But yeah, exciting time for NBA fans. This is what it all comes down to. So yeah, can't wait to do some of these podcasts and get into these 7-game series, these playing tournaments. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, it's gonna be busy coming up. So you want to subscribe and be up to date with everything going on. So yeah, give me a sub if you're not already. Give me a sub. No tomatoes. Not a fan. Don't like many veggies, to be honest. But yeah, give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Like I said, if you got any recommendations or you disagree, if you think the Warriors are trending down somehow, or the Lakers are trending down, or Knicks are trending down, anything we went against, let us know in the comments. But yeah, appreciate you having me on here tonight, D. Feel like we had a real good podcast. What do you think?
Say it. Say it.
What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying.
The last word of your outro.
I don't remember it.
Bro, you got to be consistent with this, man.
What is it?
We've
What
already
was it,
gone
bro?
over
I don't
this the
remember.
last couple. You think about that. I'm going to go ahead and say that because you're not technically done. So I'm going to say, don't look at me like that.
I don't know what you want me to say. I don't remember what I said. I said it one
Your
time.
outro. You said it a couple times now.
Peace and love.
That's not yours. Stop that. I'm going to cut those fingers off. You won't have any fingers on that hand, the right hand.
Was it deuces?
No. Do you want to keep eating Cheez-Its with your hands?
Bro, I would prefer to keep eating Cheez-Its with my hands, yes. I don't know what my outro was. I'll be more consistent.
What Hugh's outro was.
But I really don't know what it was.
Yeah, and now you made me forget what my shout out was going to be. I'm going to have to sit here until I remember. Give me some music.
Hey, J. Cole dropped an album this Friday, viewers. If anybody likes J. Cole. Long-awaited album. He dropped a documentary for it today. Me and D checked that out. What'd you think, D? I know you're a big J. Cole fan. Hey, we can talk about J. Cole because he just signed a contract today to play in, what is it? Africa's doing a basketball league, and he's playing for them. So we can actually discuss that a little bit.
Charlotte Hornets.
He's a big J. Cole fan. He's a big J. Cole fan. So
shout out to UVA.
Yeah, cool. I mean, he's close. He's North Carolina, so I'll take it. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Duke. That's better. North Carolina.
That's a little closer.
Man, you made me forget what I was wanting to mention. Oh, I got it. So hopefully tomorrow, we might do another podcast. I guess that would be episode 28. So if that's episode 28, Wednesday's podcast is going to be episode 29. And hopefully if we get this right, what we have planned, we're going to bring back the gang, bro. We're going to have all of us. We're going to squad up. Squad up, bro. I'm talking about D, Hugh, your Bud 36, and Cousin Fred's back in the building. We're going 4v4. No, 1v1, v1.
About what are we discussing? Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
What are we discussing?
That.
Excuse me? That? Did you say that? See, oh boy, I know what you're doing. I mean, just give the people a sneak peek. Let them know what to expect.
I don't remember what it is, Hugh. I write stuff down, and I'm always thinking about other stuff.
Yeah, D got a lot going on in the mentals up there. You feel me?
Speaking of that, May is Mental Health Awareness. I don't know what color that's supposed to be this month. I need to shout that out. Are you laughing at mental health?
No, I said let's go because I didn't even know that, but I just transitioned right into it.
Somebody check him in.
I don't know who the camera's setting up right now, but I hope it wasn't me. There goes that thing.
Dang, Hugh, this is like a first date for you. It's very awkward. So, yeah, you need to work on your shout out on the end of your outro. But yeah, once again, thank you for kicking in second half KISH YZ. Catch us on Spotify, Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts for our nope, that's not your outro. For our audio only under KISH YZ. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is KISHYZ, KISH_YZ. And of course, if you're listening to the audio only, please come over to our YouTube page and subscribe under KISH YZ, KISH space YZ. Come check us out. Hugh, your outro, please hit it.
I really don't remember what
Who's your favorite rapper?
Drake.
Okay.
Oh my. Woy.
Thanks to everybody for kicking the second half. Peace and love.